Bridging the Geekdoms, live from Robert's apartment. Your host, Robert Slavinsky, and your boy, Skinny Penis.
What is going on, everybody? This is Robert with Bridging the Geekdoms podcast, and with me, as always, is the late and great...
Fuck.
The late and great... You're not dead.
The late and great fuck. It's that good fuck at like 3:30 in the morning. The late and great. You're both half awake, and you don't know why you're up, but you're up. You were asleep, but something woke you up in the middle of the night. And it wasn't her, and it wasn't you. It was the dog licking your gooch.
All right, so Colton is with me.
Cat pawing at your nutsack. What you guys don't see is I have like this weird pedo smile, and I'm smiling at Bob.
This is one way to start a podcast. How's it going, everybody?
Hi.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. Got cats looking at your nutsack, pawing at it, speed bagging you.
Oh yeah. Get your fat ass over here.
Get your fat space ass back here.
So, yeah. How's it been going? What have you been doing the last couple weeks, Colton?
Fucking bitches and getting money. And not really. Well, not really. I have a girlfriend, so that's limited to one person. And I've been working a lot lately, so...
That's what you want her to believe, right?
It's limited to one person, and I've been getting money. Kind of. I haven't gotten paid yet, so we'll see that this week. Sorry. Hi, Nicole.
So
Love you.
Like, you could say you've been going to work all this time.
I really have been. Bob can vouch. He's my boss.
I have no idea what he's talking about, so...
And you see my life implode right before you.
Right in front of your ears.
Yeah, right in your earlobes.
Oh, boy. So, did you see anything interesting over the past couple weeks? Watch any movies, TV shows?
So much shit.
Like?
Let's see. I watched Tag.
How'd you like it? Let's stick with Tag. How'd you like it?
It wasn't awful. I mean, it is what it is. It's a comedy. It's like a B-rated comedy.
Okay, so it's not like a must-see comedy. It's kind of just like, yeah, if you
No,
check it
and
out, it's all right. Netflix. So look at it this way: is it like a Netflix watch? Is it a TV watch, or is it like an actual go spend your money to watch it?
I would have been disappointed if I spent money to see it, but it's definitely like a Netflix.
Gotcha.
Like you can get to it eventually.
Gotcha.
It wasn't bad. The ending is just like, why? Why? But no. Do you want the ending? Spoiler?
Sure.
Ed Helms ends up having this tumor in his pancreas, and you know with the scene where he jumps through and they're at the altar?
Yeah.
He goes into a coma. Wakes up in the hospital, and they just start playing tag in the hospital. That's... It's like, what? But no point in time before that is it hinted that he has, like, a tumor.
I mean, it is loosely based off of a true story, so maybe that actually happened. I don't know.
But, like, I watched half of Daddy's Home, too, and I just couldn't finish it. I couldn't. I watched Transformers, the last one, whatever that one was.
The shitty...
The one where Optimus Prime's evil, but then he's not evil. And Cybertron's...
Last night?
Yeah, there we go. Watched that. I was confused, but I also didn't watch Age of Extinction, and maybe that had something to do with it.
I don't know.
I watched something else. I watched a shit ton of stuff. I can't fucking remember what I watched. I watched a ton of stand-up comedy, too, which was cool. I've been binging that for some reason on Netflix. I watched the first 15 minutes of Skyscraper. It was okay.
I saw somebody on Facebook today actually was like, I'm watching Skyscraper right now, and it came to me. This is kind of like a low-grade Die Hard. I was like, that's kind of how they were selling it to begin with.
Yeah,
so.
like it's... I didn't hate it for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing, like, usually when you watch anything with The Rock in it, there's at least something good. with it.
Yeah.
Like, The Rock is usually in decent films.
Yeah, he doesn't pick shit.
And well, no, I'm not saying he doesn't pick shit. It's just
Scorpion King.
But like, there's things that he does in a movie that, like, okay, like that I can watch it because of that. But the overall story is ass, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just there's some things that he does that are good.
He gives someone the people's elbow halfway through the movie.
Does he really?
I don't know.
Oh, damn it.
Me and Nicole had a bonding moment over Jackass 3.5.
Oh, how so?
I don't know. She never watched Jackass before, and I was like,
geez.
all
Any
right.
Jackass?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Was she like 12?
No. She's older than me. 13, damn it. But she's never watched it, so we sat down, and it was the one, 3.5 has the slow-mo stuff in it, so you just have Chris Pontius literally blowing his dick in the wind.
Oh, yeah.
So that's on Netflix, uncensored.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
So that was fun. Oh, so we watched Bob's Burgers. We caught up on that.
Yeah, I've never really gone into that, so.
I don't think we watched anything else. Me and her. Watched a couple more episodes of The Ranch. Belko Experiment, but I think I talked about that last time.
I think you did too.
End of the Fucking World. I know I talked about that one too. I don't think I've watched anything else. At least nothing that comes... Hold on, let me look at the app. What have you watched, my man?
A few things here and there.
Yeah. That wasn't directed towards you.
Let's see. Well, I watched God's Not Dead 3. Yeah, the third one of that, so...
They made 3 of those? I watched the first one.
Honestly, they're actually good. Like, they're not bad movies. I don't know if anybody's religious or anything like that, but they're actually pretty decent films when it comes to religious standpoint, and it tackles a lot of the what's going on in today's world, and they're on the religious side of things. So I think they're pretty good films. Like I said, I watch pretty much anything, and I do have a strong background in Christianity growing up, so it's like, what the heck, let's give it a watch. So it wasn't terrible, but the thing that I definitely watched, I want to talk about, is The Death of Superman.
Oh, you finally watched it?
I finally watched it.
I'm jelly. I'm real jelly.
So, watched that last night, and first off, if you like a lot of what the animated films have been for DC leading up to this point, like War, Justice League War, Batman versus... Batman vs. Robin, or there's that, what it was called, something like that, and then Justice League versus Teen Titans, or Titans versus Justice League, whatever it was. These are all set in the same universe. So it's all the same, like...
story. Overall.
Cinematic universe.
Yeah, overarching story.
So, which is kind of neat. Obviously, they have different voice actors for the characters. I think the person who plays Wonder Woman is the same voice it has been throughout all, but pretty much all the other voices have changed. The Lex Luthor voice did not fit Lex Luthor at all. I'm sorry, I don't know who it was. I tried to look and see who it was, but I forget who the name was. Did not work for Lex Luthor at all. Basically, yes. That's basically what
I
it
would
sounded
have killed myself.
So that did not work, but overall, movie was excellent. If you know the story of the death of Superman, you know essentially it's the death of Superman. I mean, that's what it is.
Batman dies.
But where obviously it takes liberties because this universe is set up differently than it was in the comics back in the 90s when it actually happened. So obviously you don't have all the players jumping in like they did in the comic, but you do have pretty much the main Justice League members jumping in, taking on Doomsday, getting their asses handed to them, and then Superman finally coming in and like, whoa, and then he jumps in and he starts taking on Doomsday.
Yeah. Getting his shit kicking in his shit.
Yeah, and there's a lot of scenes that were actually really powerful. I give them a lot of credit. Like after he dies, there's a scene that throughout, and it starts in the beginning of the movie where there's this sailor who's like, without you, Superman, I wouldn't be here. I want to thank you, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. Like, he kind of sets up something that happens after he dies, and where he's just like, this sailor like walks onto the dock, and he's sitting there holding a picture of him and Superman, and he's like, why, God, why take Superman? Why couldn't you take somebody like me? And he's like having this like moment, and it's actually impactful. You're really like, ow, wow, like that.
You're like,
hurts.
wow,
yeah,
good writing, better voice acting.
Yeah, thank God. So I mean, it was a really good movie. I don't like how they ended it. That's kind of my problem. I think that they should have ended it with Superman being dead. Which he is. You don't see him alive at the end of it, but you see his tomb open and him missing. at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And that's kind of upsetting. They have about 14 different mid-credit scenes.
Nice.
Which, if I wouldn't have just sat there and watched, I completely would have missed, because normally when the credits start rolling on an animated movie, I'm just like, all right, turn it off. But I picked up my phone, and all of a sudden it came up on screen. I was like, whoa, mid-credit scene, sweet. And I'm watching it. And then it's like, okay, go back on my phone. Another, like, whoa, what's going on now?
You're like, oh, calm down, Marvel, calm down.
Like, literally, I think there was 3 or 4 that actually popped up mid-credit. So I was like, yeah, not bad. But definitely check it out if you are a fan of DC, anything DC, and again,
Marvel.
But again, it's not the exact story of the death of Superman.
Yeah,
but they're adapting it. They're making it. It's more guided to, because these characters, this universe is a lot more the New 52 characters. This is the New 52 almost Justice League. So that's kind of, they had to change things up for that. So check it out. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. Hold on, I got the app to work, so I can tell you what movies I've watched.
I don't care.
Wow,
Wait,
man.
what?
Wow. What? I just trusted the app. You sons of bitches. So that was cool with all that dead air.
Yeah.
So how's your day going?
My day's fine.
Yeah. We went on a test drive in your
My
new Lamborghini Aventador.
Yeah, because that's what I have. No, we drove around in my new car so you could check it out and see how comfortable it would be going to airsoft events now, because I'll probably be driving for the next forever for those.
Oh, I watched Truth or Dare.
I feel bad for you.
Movie was mediocre at its good points. The ending kind of was like, what the fuck? Because the whole movie, obviously, if you haven't seen it or heard of it, it's Truth or Dare, but you're possessed by this priest. That's a demon? Question mark? I didn't think that worked like that, but apparently it does. And this girl's like, you have to follow it, and they eventually find out how to break the curse or stop the curse or whatever. You have to cut out the person who started the game with you. You have to cut out their tongue, and they have to say like something in Spanish. No surprise, Spanish people. So they do that, but the curse ends up killing the guy that originally started it. So the only way they could stop it is by getting more people. And the whole movie, this girl's like, no, we're going to finish this. We're going to stop it. And then the last 10 minutes, last like 15 seconds, she makes this video on her phone and sends it to the internet, and the whole world is now playing that game. And it's like, that's not how your character was built at all. So that was that.
It's ridiculous.
So I was super confused during that, and I don't know why they would even try to do that. Let's see. There are a lot of movies on here. Anyway, for anybody that's wondering, I have a movie box on iOS. If anybody wants to figure out how to look that up, go ahead. Yeah, watched Daddy's Home. That was pretty bad. Or Daddy's Home 2. I don't think I watched anything else. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I watched Baby Driver. That was pretty cool.
It's a great movie. Great movie.
Yeah, sorry about this. I totally thought my memory was better.
I don't think you need to go through all the movies that you watched.
No, I'm just going through the movies on here so I could, because I for some reason like skipped around.
I'm just saying you don't need to tell us every single movie that you watched.
And I watched Super Troopers too.
Oh, okay. How did you like it?
It was fucking hilarious.
It was. Again, it's not as good as the first one.
Yeah, but it's definitely good enough to watch
good.
again.
It's definitely a good time. Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, they are definitely making a third one, so that's exciting. The two guys, Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemmy, they play not Landfill, that's Beer Fest. Farva,
that's a good movie too.
Farva and I can't remember his name, but anyways, two of the characters that are in it, who were part of Broken Lizard, they're actually making a TV show called Tacoma FD. It's going to be about a fire department. And
that's
it's going to be, I think it's on FX that's going to be coming on. So
that's badass. I might have to watch that.
Honestly, the two of them, they have a podcast together called Chewing It. And they talk about that all the time. They talk about all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a good podcast to listen to, and looking forward to what they're going to do. So
hey, if you want to do a join up, I doubt you're listening to us, but your boy Skinny Penis here will do one.
All right, then. So with that said, let's kind of jump into some other stuff here and get into kind of the geek news.
drums. So you guys hear that? Donating to Patreon, just $1 a month, helps us up the production value of this podcast. $1 a month at the Nerdtalkalypse Podcast Network.
Yes.
$1 a month, you get early access and one bonus episode.
Yeah.
So go there and do that.
We actually have we're working out on our next bonus episode, which is going to be Movie Boot. It's going to be a good time where we're going to reboot the entire DC film universe. So that's going to be a fun time.
And it is a huge feat. Like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think it should be a good time. I'm hoping it's a good time. That will be.
It's definitely going to be at least a 7-parter. At least.
I don't know. We'll see how long it's going to be. But that's definitely at least part 1 or the first half or the first whatever will be September's exclusive episode for Patreon. So make sure you check there for that.
We also have the other movie boots up on there too.
Yeah, all the movie boots are up on Patreon.
Yeah.
While you can actually hear all of the movie boots in our regular feed. Moving forward, all of them will only be on Patreon, exclusive to Patreon subscribers.
So if you like my sexy voice, talking a little bit more, go on over.
Oh yeah. So,
what the fuck?
I really don't know what you're doing here. So some interesting things came out over the weekend.
It's okay. I'm glad you came out too. I'm proud of you. I still love you.
Thanks. So we're gonna kind of jump. I know we're talking about geek stuff, but I'm gonna jump into the space force.
Bruh.
And in that we have Star Wars Episode 9 leaked photos.
Yeah.
What did you think of them?
I don't know where it's going to take place at. I still haven't gathered that, but they have horses.
Yeah, and there's been a shit ton of leaks because we there's these leaked photos where they're like on like a plains, like a hillside of a plains, and there's horse-like creatures or horses. I don't know what they are. Chewbacca's standing next to one, and I'm telling you right now, JJ, you better have Chewbacca on a horse because I never knew I wanted to see Chewbacca on a horse until now.
And some sort of lasso type thing. Give me fucking cowboy Chewbacca.
But you see Finn and Poe together, which is, okay.
That's cool. I expected that.
Yeah, so the reason why I say horse-like creatures is because it looks like they have like tape or something on the horses to do some CGI work with them. So I think they're going to...
Maybe we're going back to the worst part of Episode 8. I can't think of it. Can't bite. Yeah.
I doubt it, but maybe. Hopefully not. Then there were some pictures that were in a wooded area, like a forest, and you can see the Millennium Falcon in the forest. Cool. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, it's Endor. Obviously, it's not Endor, because Endor was filmed in Redwood Forest in California, and the trees are like really big and different looking. This looks like a normal forest with like regular-sized trees, stuff like that. So I don't think it's going to be Endor.
Or the fact that Endor is completely destroyed by debris.
Oh, I'm sorry, the planet, the forest moon of Endor, I should say.
There we go.
So again, who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? But it's kind of cool. We're getting a lot of leaked stuff. This is what happened with Episode 7. Not so much with Episode 8. We did get some leaked stuff from Episode 8. I do remember seeing scenes from like Canto Bight that were leaked, and some sets from the Octu stuff was leaked, but not a whole lot. I think we've already had more leaked footage or scenes from Episode 9 than we had in total for Episode 8 at this point. So
yeah, I was rewatching Episode 8 the other day. I forgot, like, that movie was beautiful, just like the way it was shot, especially on Octu.
Yeah.
Like, it was just scenery was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it is a beautifully shot film. There's some issues with it. I just watched Episode 7 again the other day, and I was talking, I think it was to you or to some other people. I'm like, the thing about Episode 7 is it feels so much like Star Wars. Like it literally, you can't deny that it is a Star Wars movie in any way, shape, or form. Whereas Episode 8, it feels like Star Wars, but there's some things that seem to be missing from it. So JJ coming back for 9, I think, is great. I think it's going to get back to that Star Wars feel, just like Episode 7 was. So I'm excited about that, for sure. Let's see.
Faux shizzle, my nizzle, gazizzle.
Jumping back a little bit to like the geekery news. Big Bang Theory is ending after this current season. I'm excited about
You
that.
said geekery news, not blessings.
Yeah, tell me about it. We got a new It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trailer.
Oh my god.
God, I can't wait for that show.
That's going to be fucking awesome.
Zendaya rumored to be offered the lead role of the Little Mermaid. Yeah.
I mean, I could take her or leave it. I like her as an actress.
I think she's a damn good actress, and she's a good singer. If you saw The Greatest Showman, which I just watched again last night for like the 90th time.
No, I'm probably going to watch it this week, though.
It's about damn time.
I'm catching up on my list. I got over half of my movies from 2018 watched so far. And most 2017.
Interesting. Good. Now let's jump into the multiverse here. Let's see if this works. All right, so now that we're in the multiverse.
That was a quick... That's like when you have to shit real bad. That's the noise that plays in your head when you're running to the toilet. That's how fast we just got to the multiverse.
Jesus.
We entered this Speed
Force.
There we go. I couldn't think of what it was called.
So, rumor came out, I guess it was today, maybe yesterday. My days are kind of mixing together right now.
Same.
That Oscar Isaac met with the Warner Brother in DC for a mystery role in the upcoming Batman movie. Now, people jumped on this. Oh, he's going to be cast as Batman. And then there's people, he's being cast as Oswald Cobblepot because there's rumor that the Penguin is going to be the villain in the movie. But it's just a mystery role. Now, first off, he was supposedly seen going into the Warner Brothers offices. Now, nobody can say whether it was in LA or London. Keep in mind, he is currently filming Star Wars Episode 7, Episode 9.
He's time traveling and remaking the film currently as we speak.
He's filming Episode 9 in London, we believe. We believe that that's where he's at, or roundabouts Europe. You know, somewhere over there.
Somewhere not in America.
Yeah, he's not in America right now.
America, land of free home to Whopper.
So,
yeehaw.
He could have gone to the Warner Brothers, offices in London, which they do have offices there. He could have been talking about anything.
Yeah. Hey guys, what's good?
I don't know where. Like, I've read a couple articles. Nobody can say, "Oh, he definitely was there for Batman." I don't know where that came from. Honestly, I would not hate the idea of him being the new Batman. He's younger.
Yeah.
I think he could play a damn good Batman.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't hate it either.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor. So bring it on. But again, nobody knows anything at this point. So it is what it is.
Yeah, let's just take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, let's just see what happens.
Let's do it. We got a new Batman.
Yeah. Maybe.
Does that confirm he dies in Episode 9?
Why would that matter?
I don't know. If he gets the role, maybe his character does. You never know.
The CW verse, their crossover episode, which will be premiering in December, which will have 3 episodes. It's going to be The Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl. Legends of Tomorrow are not included with it, nor
Rest
is
in spaghetti.
Black Lightning. However, it has been confirmed that Superman and Lois Lane will be part of the crossover event. I'm kind of excited because we still don't know who the villain's going to be. We know Batwoman's going to be in it. So we're going to have Batwoman, we're going to have Flash, we're going to have Supergirl, Superman, the Arrow. We're going to have a whole bunch of these characters in there. What kind of villain is that menacing and that big of a villain that you need to have Superman and Supergirl? Think about it that way.
Galactus. He crosses over universes. They're like, God damn, he's powerful as shit.
But again, who could it be? So I'm intrigued because of that aspect right there. Like, who could they be bringing in as a villain? Because we've had the Dominators, we've had the Crisis on Crisis or whatever it was called on whatever Earths.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
That's not what the event was called last year. I can't remember. But anyway,
I'm very far behind in those two.
So again, I'm interested to see what happens. I am. I'm hoping it's something cool. I really am. So let's see what happens with that. Rupert Gregson Williams will not be scoring Wonder Woman's movie, Wonder Woman 84. And I was a little upset because that's actually the headline I first read. I first saw, he's not going to be coming back. And I was like, he did a pretty good job. Now who are they going to get? Fucking Danny Elfman again at Hack? And
God damn, man.
No, it's going to be Hans Zimmer. Even though he said that after Batman vs. Superman that he was retiring from superhero films, he's coming back for Wonder Woman 84.
He's like, but hold on, fam.
you got to remember, he is the one who helped create the Wonder Woman theme in Batman vs. Superman. So it makes sense, and it's cool that he's coming back. And Rupert Gregson-Williams, he did a hell of a job with the soundtrack. Yeah. I mean, he is kind of I'll say this, like a student of Hans Zimmer. He worked with Zimmer multiple times in the past, so he kind of had that same flair and flavor that Zimmer brings. But having Zimmer come in, dude, I mean...
We've had a bite of the pie. Now we have the whole goddamn pie.
And I'm really pumped about it. And it's funny, I was listening to Nerdtalkalypse this past week, and they brought this up. And
Hey Deej, hi.
Deej and Lane, they were talking about it, and Deej was like, "Oh, Robert's probably excited about this news." And Lane kind of did a impression of me with like a really high pitched voice.
He's like, "Yeah,
basically,
yeah, Hans Zimmer, yeah."
So
yeah.
Thanks, Lane. Thanks for that impression. It was pretty close to me, I guess. I don't know.
Oh shit!
Boy, good times. What do you got? You got anything?
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees. The birds and the bees live in nature, and nature's scary. Stay inside and listen to Nerdtalkalypse Podcast Network.
Yes.
So, yeah, fucking A. So I'm kind of looking forward to our movie boot this week. No, well, technically next month, but...
Yeah. It should be good. We'll probably be recording it next week, or starting to.
Something around there.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Okay, so jumping back into stuff here because I got a little sidetracked.
Yeah, I'm good at filling the space.
I don't think that we talked about the trailer for Resistance.
Oh no, we didn't. Did we want to? Because it's a steaming pile of shit.
Why do you think it's a steaming pile of shit?
It just doesn't look good.
Why do you think it doesn't look good?
Because it's not anime. It's anime inspired.
Okay, so it's not anime. It's anime but
it's not like polished either. Like
looks. What's the problem with it? Why do you think it looks like shit?
It just doesn't look good. It's not appeasing to the eye.
Okay, so you're saying the art doesn't look good.
Yes.
What else? What other reasons would you not want to watch this show?
It's the art mainly.
It's the art mainly.
Yeah, I can't get past it. I can't sit there and watch something I don't like.
Hey Colton.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know that this show it's for kids?
Well, no shit. I've watched Rebels and Clone Wars.
I agree. And I'm with you on that. And the fact that, because even I did the same thing. I was like, this looks like crap. But then I was like, wait a minute. This isn't for me. It's for kids. They got to appease. Like, I hate the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the way they look. But guess what? Kids freaking love it. My kids love the way they look.
They look so...
It looks terrible, but my kids like the way it looks. So they're appealing to kids, and that makes sense. Am I going to watch it? I'll probably give it a shot and see what Resistance is about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to bitch about it, but I'm probably going to watch it. And if I can't watch it, I'm going to read the synopsis.
I can't stand people who are freaking out. Oh, it looks like crap. Lucasfilm screwing Star Wars up again. Like, come on, really? Honestly, come on. It's for kids.
Come on, you're a 42-year-old who's balding, living in your mom's basement. Has never felt a vagina. The closest thing to a vagina you felt is the inside of a fucking cantaloupe when you were de-seeding it. Oh wait, no, you're a fat ass. You don't eat cantaloupe, so you're fucking fingering a raw chicken. That's the closest thing to a vagina you got.
You done?
Not geared towards you.
You done?
Fucking 2-year-olds. Now I'm done.
All right.
That felt good. That felt real good.
I'm glad you feel. I'm glad you got that off your chest.
Man.
Glad about that.
Whew.
Mm.
Man.
Yeah.
Might have to go upstairs and aggressively take a dump.
Oh, Jesus.
Man, that felt great.
So, what I want to do today, because next week I want to cover what's coming out the rest of the year. We're going to talk about
the fall winter
planning. Yeah, I mean, I know that we kind of stopped at August. I think we got all the way to the end of July last time we did it. So we're going to kind of miss all of August, but we're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really came out in August.
No, nothing much. But what I want to talk about today,
all the shitty movies.
On our Facebook group, I've been asking questions to all of the people over the last week pertaining to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see because we got nothing going on right now with Marvel. There's nothing. I mean, the next season of Iron Fist is coming soon, that kind of stuff. But nothing that's like okay. So we had Infinity War,
cool,
awesome. But now we have nothing movie.
We had Ant-Man and the Wasp for a week. We
had nothing until
March. Well, I mean, at earliest, when do you think we'll start seeing Captain Marvel stuff?
Captain Marvel, I think we're going to get a trailer probably around the first week of NFL season first couple weeks of that.
So like 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, probably around.
I don't know when I haven't been keeping up on football this year.
I think that they're going to do something then, and then I think for Avengers 4, I think we're going to start getting information around November, December for that.
Yeah.
I think the first trailer for Avengers is going to drop with Mary Poppins.
That would be. I'm still going to go see that movie. So,
but that's going to be dropping, I think, then. But Captain Marvel, I think we're going to start seeing stuff coming up here shortly, and I think the first full trailer will be attached to Venom. So they're going to probably show something before Venom comes out. Start hyping up people for that.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
For Captain Marvel. Yeah. So anyway, I've been asking questions like, who do you think's going to die, Steve or Tony, in the next movie? So what do you think?
I mean, it would be Steve. If anybody, it would be Steve.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, not going from knowing how many movies they have on their contract and stuff like that, but just as their character is in the universe, we will see more of Tony Stark than we will of Steve Rogers.
Possibly. Hello, sir. What can I do for you?
Howdy there, partner. I'm in the market for one of them new internet radio show T-shirts I hear so much about on them applications.
T-shirt, you say?
Yeah, one that'll catch the eye of my lovely lady friend.
You know what? I think I may have something right up your alley.
Oh, do tell.
You see, we have this awesome Hanes tagless tee with the slick logo of Nerdtalkalypse Podcast Network on the front, with all the awesome shows listed on the back. Nerdtalkalypse Podcast, Fandom Vibe, and even bridging the Geekdoms.
Well, I'll be a horse's patoot.
That's right, and you can get that all for the low cost of $17.99 at teespring.com, as well as coffee mugs, stickers, tank tops, and hoodies.
I'm gonna have to get me one of them stickers for the back of my pick-em-up truck.
That's excellent, man. Just log in to teespring.com/shop/Nerdtalkalypse Network and order yours today.
Yeah! But wait, why did I walk into a store if you're gonna send me to a website?
Yeah, I think that I think it's gonna be Steve. I do. I'm trying to find the the thing on Facebook here. I had it pulled up a little bit ago and I lost it. I know that more people voted that Steve was gonna die in the upcoming movie in Avengers 4 than not, but there's some people that do believe Tony's gonna die, and here it is. More 9 people says Steve Rogers, 4 says Tony Stark. I think that a lot of people think it's going to be Tony, or not a lot of people. Some people think it's going to be Tony just because he's been such the, as Vic put it, like the they're like Disney's, Marvel's like big player. Like this is who they use
their
Tony
face.
They've used him, so it would make sense to kill somebody like him off. I think a lot of other people think they're going to kill Steve because of the comics, because he did die in the comics, not during Infinity War,
but he has technically died.
Yeah. So I think that's a lot of reasons. Like personally, I think there's a lot of things matching up to it. I sit there and take a look and I say, okay, Infinity War was very much Stark-centric. I mean, he was in more of the movie than Steve was. Steve had very few lines in the movie, and he was very briefly. I think Avengers 4 is going to be kind of the opposite. I think it's going to be more Steve-centric. Tony will be there, but I think it's going to be more...
he has to be.
But I think it's going to be more Steve-centric. I also think that from a story and narrative standpoint, I think that it makes more sense because of his story arc. Everything that he has done to this point has been for being Captain America, for being this protector of the country, at the beginning it was the country and then eventually the world. Like, that's who he is. And you go through that story arc of him of walking away from the government and everything like that, and throwing his shield away, saying, I'm done, for him to come back and then sacrifice himself for the greater good, for the world, makes sense for his story arc. And I think that's what's going to happen. And, I was on Facebook today and we were talking about it still, and I said, just imagine a scene. Imagine a scene where, Bucky, you haven't seen Bucky almost the entire movie, and maybe you have seen him, who knows? But Bucky was, they were in a fight with Thanos, and Bucky gets blown away, and Steve comes over and he's taking on Thanos. He's taking him on, and Bucky comes to, and he just looks at Steve, and Steve looks at Bucky, and they make eye contact. Steve just nods his head, And Bucky's like, no. And at that moment, there's just like this blinding light, a big explosion, something happens where when
he doesn't
everything
come back.
There's it comes back to the picture, and there's no Steve, there's no Thanos, there's nothing. All you see is Steve's shield on the ground. Bucky runs over, and he's just looking, he's like hoping, like, where's he at? And there's just nothing. And at this moment, he looks down and notices the shield. Picks up the shield, puts it on his arm, and kind of just looks up to the heavens. And like that's that. Like how heartbreaking would that be because of their friendship? You know, in a sense, the audience is Bucky at that moment. Like the audience is feeling what Bucky is feeling, and that is the best way. Now, don't get me wrong. If they killed off Stark, I think we could feel it. But with the exception of Pepper, there's no real character that you can sit there and say, you know what? The audience is going to be that character for that scene. For that scene, when it comes to Tony, you're just not. Like there isn't one individual character. Whereas with Steve, you have that. You have that character Bucky. You know, because of their friendship, how tight they've been. Again, for Tony, it has been Pepper, and I guess you could do that. But then again, Pepper has only been in such few films here and there, and you know,
people are like, "Oh, you could do Spider-Man," but that's a stretch.
But again, that is a stretch, and why would you flip it? You know, you had the scene, that touching scene between Spider-Man and Iron Man last movie where Spider-Man died. Flipping it would just be too cliche. It would be too predictable, and I don't think they would go that route.
And with what you said, Bucky picking up the shield, that could be him picking up the mantle for Captain America.
Exactly.
For
I mean, it's
whatever phase they are doing after Avengers 4.
But exactly, like that's a huge thing right there. Like him picking up the shield is him taking on the mantle, but realizing that his friend is gone.
Yeah.
You know, and again, people are like, "Oh, you know, they're going to kill him off for good." I don't think they're going to kill him off for good. I think he's going to come back in 5 or 10 years in a cameo role. I think that he's going to be transported somewhere, a la Red Skull in the first Captain America, something very similar to that. And I think, you know, again, it's, you know, like kind of
full
circle going. You know, I think that's what's going to happen. I think
he's going to be the guardian of one of the stones.
Yeah, and then, you know, I asked, you know, people like, do you think Thanos is going to die? You know, and obviously in my theory there, yes, Thanos does quote unquote die, but doesn't really die. He gets transported because I don't think they're going to kill him off completely.
No, he's too good of a villain.
True. Yeah.
I commented on that one. What did I say? I said probably, maybe.
Yeah,
but he's probably going to be put in the Soul Stone.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Like he's put into one of the stones, or he's transported somewhere, or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, there's a lot of speculation that Stark is going to create his own gauntlet of sorts. Some people think it's going to be like a suit. Some people think it's going to be Tony himself because of the arc reactor, and that's what's going to cause him to die because he's going to sacrifice himself using the stones, blah, blah, blah. Then there's some rumors that there will be another gauntlet, that actually the Hulk will use this other gauntlet. There's a lot of Professor Hulk stuff going around. I don't know if you know who Professor Hulk is.
I like Professor Hulk.
Yeah,
and that could be a possibility.
And if you don't know who Hulk is, or who Professor Hulk is essentially the Hulk with Bruce Banner controlling the Hulk. Like he knows everything, and we've been starting to see bits and pieces of that through these films, the last few films, and very much so in Infinity War, because he was the Hulk. Now, here's the thing with Hulk. A lot of people, if you don't know this, because you may not read comics, and we understand that, but when it comes to the Hulk, Bruce Banner is not supposed to remember what happened when he was the Hulk. Like that is his story. Like the Hulk, he transforms into the Hulk.
It's like blacking out.
It's the Jekyll and Hyde thing. You know, they're essentially two different people living in one body type of thing. And the Hulk goes and does his stuff, and when he comes to as Bruce Banner, he doesn't know what happened.
He just knows he teleported somewhere. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. He just knows, okay, the Hulk took over. Through Ragnarok and now Infinity War, we're starting to see that Bruce Banner's starting to remember.
Yeah.
You know, slowly he's starting to remember things, and I wish I would have picked up on this earlier than
it's
than
really
now.
prevalent.
But you really see it now, and you're starting to understand, because now you're having this conversation between Hulk and Bruce Banner at one point in Infinity War, which is, it's not like a full-blown conversation, but he's like, come on, Hulk, I need you to do this. And he's like, no! And you're like, holy crap, they're having a conversation. So a theory is that the Hulk isn't coming out because Bruce Banner has too much control over him now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to come out because of that. Not because he's afraid of Thanos, but because he's afraid of him not having control, that Bruce is going to have control. That's an interesting theory. And again, if we see Professor Hulk,
that again
sense.
because how much does Mark Ruffalo have on his contract?
I don't know, and that's people are like, oh, look at their contracts, and you can't.
But if you have the Professor Hulk, you don't need Mark Ruffalo.
True.
Like
true.
you just don't.
You don't. But again, when you think about it, like the whole contract thing that people are like, oh, just look at the contracts. If their contract's about to run out, they're probably going to die or they won't be back. That's not true because Robert Downey Jr.'s contract was supposed to be over at Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. Like that was supposed to be his ending. He was done at that point. But he signed on for 4 more films, which ended up being Spider-Man, Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers 4. So we definitely know Tony Stark will be up until Avengers 4.
Yeah. He could even walk away then.
I still think he's going to walk away in a sense, and I think that he's going to be more like a Nick Fury character moving forward. I think he's going to show up occasionally here and there, pop up here and there. Is he going to be leading the new S.H.I.E.L.D., or is he going to be leading the new Avengers? Who knows what he's going to be doing from the sidelines.
Or just be Spider-Man's mentor.
Yeah, maybe. But I think he's going to be more involved with his child because he's going to have a child. That was alluded to way too hard. In Infinity War, and it's I still give myself a little credit for figuring that out before the movie came out. But again, I think that makes sense. I think because we know that there's going to be some kind of play with time travel in this movie. I think we're going to go up in time. We're going to go back in time. I think we're going to go back and forth. Yeah, and all sorts of advanced fuckery. But we're going to see a future where Tony does have a child. Okay, I think we're going to see the future where he has a child, and he's going to see that.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to be like, I want that.
Exactly. But we're going to come back, and it's going to be that moment where Steve sacrifices himself. But before Steve does, Tony's going to make that sacrifice. He's going to have that decision. He's going to make it, and he's going to be like, I have that future with Pepper, or I can sacrifice myself now for the greater good. And he's going to try and sacrifice himself, but I think Steve's going to step in and take it from him. Yeah. Not take it from him like, oh, I'm taking this from you.
This is my moment, not yours.
But I think he's going to be more like, you have more to live for, and like push him away, and he's going to, like that kind of moment,
and you have that whole Armageddon thing.
Yeah, exactly, like the movie Armageddon. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a good pull right there.
Yeah. Armageddon's one of my top 10 films.
That's kind of weird, but okay.
It's one of the few movies that can make me cry.
Aww.
Yeah.
We just got to the touching side of Colton.
Yeah, it's like 2. There's 2 movies.
Meanwhile, I'm like, there's like a list of like 50 movies that make me cry. So.
There's 2 movies that can make me cry. Nicole outed me for one of them.
Which was
The Lovely Bones. Cry every time.
I've never seen it.
Every fucking time. It's another top 15, 20 films. Mm. Don't know why. Just that. Cry like a bitch every time.
Weird. Yeah, I mean, the biggest movie that made me cry, and I mean, was probably the first movie to ever make me cry was Lion King. So, but you got to see the correlation there a little bit. Losing my father as a child, that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, like your uncle pushed him off a cliff.
Exactly. I mean, it happened. I was there. I saw it.
Exactly. Then you went up and was like, Dad.
Into a stampede of wildebeest. I mean, it happened.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy.
But, yeah, so.
God damn. We got a little morbid there.
But really, I mean, when it comes to Avengers, I that's why like people are like questioning me, like, why did I ask if Thanos is going to die? That's an odd question. I don't think it's an odd question because
it's a relevant question.
You can kill Thanos, and if you kill Thanos, cool, that's great. But you kill him, first off, you're falling into the normal Marvel routine and formula, and
which would be a real letdown from Infinity War.
Yeah, and number 2, you're basically removing him from the equation in the future, which is unfortunate because imagine that kind of like, let's say the Avengers win this, and they're going to win. They're going to win. They're going to reset everything. And well, there'll be some casualties, but they're going to reset this thing. And Thanos then loses, but he doesn't die. How badass would it be to see him in 10 films from now, 15 films from now, come back for his revenge?
Yeah, Avengers 6. The Revenge of Thanos or some shit like that.
I mean, Avengers like 12. But
I forget. They do 3 movies.
It's going to be a different Avengers team, and they're not going to have to pay for the sins of the original Avengers. Like that's a cool idea.
And then you could have your cameo appearances again.
Exactly. And I just think that would be
Steve Rogers picking up the shield, Tony Stark putting on the suit.
Yeah. I mean,
Hawkeye dead, hopefully. Ant-Man.
He's going to become Ronin. People think Hawkeye's going to become Ronin in this movie. I think that'd be a cool idea. I mean, you figure if he becomes Ronin, first off, he gets rid of the bow and arrow. He becomes basically a samurai, which is kind of cool, running around with a samurai sword.
If he becomes Ronin, I'll totally take back everything I said.
Please do. It'd be great. But I think that'd be cool because, run around with a samurai sword? Why the hell not? Let's see it.
Like slicing shit up for no reason. Like, because...
Well, no, and there's a good reason, because his family was killed by Thanos' snap. So he goes off on his own, goes and trains to become a samurai, that kind of... Like, it's a badass idea. I like it.
If that's the case, he should get his own film.
Yeah.
Like Ronin.
But again, here's the thing, and the more I think about it, because a lot of people think there's going to be a time jump. That's what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks that we're going to have a huge time jump to where we come back to Avengers 4 and it's going to be 10, 15 years down the line.
It would make sense.
I don't think we're going to have that. I think it's going to be immediately after what happens.
Well, I think we'll have a scene before the title where it's like the aftermath, like the just shock of everything.
But no, here's the thing. I'm telling you, everything that happens will be as if it happened almost immediately after the snap. Like the main stuff. Okay, the main story is going to be taking place from there. I think there will be time travel. I think they will go to the future. I think they will go to the past. I think they're going to go and do these different areas and time travel, and that's when we're going to see Ronin. We're going to see Stark with a child. We're going to see Spider-Man as a grown-up. We're going to see not Spider-Man because he's dead, but
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales or something. That'd be cool. Bring him in. Who knows?
Donald Glover is Miles Morales.
But I mean,
I'd support that.
You figure we're going to jump to the future and we're going to see some things, and it's going to be kind of like, this is the world that we don't want to get to.
Yeah.
So we got to fix this, and then they go.
And then you have the whole butterfly effect.
And then they how do we fix this? And then they go back in time and
they fix it.
They start collecting the stones before Thanos can get them, and they come back and they take care of it, or they may not even come back. They may take care of it before the events, obviously. Yeah. And it'll be cool if Thanos finds out that this is happening, and so he starts time jumping and trying to follow them, and it's a cat and mouse where Thanos is chasing the Avengers through time.
Because then it would, with Ant-Man, the mid-credit scene, how they vanish halfway through, it would make sense. Ant-Man just pops up right at the end of Infinity War, like, what the fuck just happened?
Something like that, yeah.
Because,
I think that it's going to be a little bit different. I'm still curious how the whole Ant-Man is going to fit into it. I'm not 100% sure yet because he's in the quantum realm. He has no idea.
Yeah, he's just fucking floating somewhere.
Like, he knows that they're not there anymore, but he doesn't know why, what happened, where they're, any of that. He doesn't have any clue because he's in the quantum realm. So he has to get out of the quantum realm. He has to find somebody who he knows from the Avengers, which will probably be Captain America, Steve Rogers.
I mean, it would make sense.
Steve Rogers will tell him, and he'll come up with the idea like, look, I think we can time travel, through the quantum realm and blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And they'll figure out a way to do it through the quantum realm. That's what I think is going to happen there. And then, it's going to be Scott Lang's idea. And they're going to go do their whole thing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And still going to be playing the drums.
Stupid.
That was the worst post-credit scene. Can we just take a second to, say how much of a kick in the dick that was?
I know, it's like, you just sat through 10 minutes of credits, so we're going to give you this horrible scene that has no relevance to anything at all.
Especially a month and a half, 2 months after Infinity War. Where
there was no post-credit scene with that.
Yeah. No, the only thing we got there was Thanos will return or something like that.
Exactly.
And we're just like...
No, it was the Avengers will return, ?
Yeah. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
My heart's ripped out of my chest and skull fucked from this film, and you give me this.
Yeah, that's...
fuck you, Ant-Man.
Yeah, fuck you, Ant-Man. But that's kind of the whole thing. I want to know, what you guys all think about what's going to happen in Avengers 4, because at this point, there's nothing else to talk about when it comes to Marvel.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about it. I want to figure out what the hell's going to happen. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to talk about ideas and theories and stuff like that. I have my theories. I love my theories. You know me. I love making up stories. I love talking about things that I love. But what is everybody else's theories?
I still don't understand why the Iron Fist and them were not anywhere to be seen in Infinity. I mean, I know why they weren't, but continuity-wise, that just doesn't make sense.
Unfortunately, and you have to remember that.
I mean, they're
two different companies that are being.
Yeah, I mean, run. I know that, but continuity-wise,
But from a standpoint, I wish Luke Cage would have ended where people disappeared.
Yeah,
I wish that Iron Fist. I would love to see one of these shows
actually acknowledge
that the snap.
Yeah, like
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't acknowledge did they acknowledge the snap? I don't think they acknowledged the snap, but they acknowledged that
people were disappearing.
They acknowledged the Battle of New York that took place prior to the snap, like in the beginning of Infinity War. They acknowledged that battle. Obviously,
so
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that season ended before the snap would have happened. So that season ended, so we wouldn't have had. But curious because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got pushed, like the final season got pushed past what they normally start to after, or right before, either after or right before Avengers 4 comes out. So I think it's after, actually. I think it starts in July. So that's going to be a month, 2 months after
we
Avengers 4 comes out. So interesting, like they're probably thinking like, we don't want to touch that, so we have to make this come out after so that we don't have to make reference to it. Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has always been very, very much making references and included with that grander universe, more so than the Netflix shows, which is kind of annoying. Because I think the Netflix show should have more connection with it. But again, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, it's a deal breaker for me. I love the Netflix shows, I mean, except for Iron Fist. But
hey, season 2 might redeem him.
I'm hoping so.
But like,
Finn Jones, he's just a horrible actor. He's so bad.
I mean, it's Netflix, man.
but come on, look at Mike Coulter. Like, he's a damn good actor. Look at what's her face who plays Jessica Jones. Like, she's damn hot and good actress, and all the side characters have been great.
Yeah,
Purple Man, David Tennant. Come on, Mahershala Ali as come on, man.
Like, I even said that when we were doing the movie boot, like the whole, why don't TV, they should kind of bounce off of each other. Like, oh, hey, this happened, so we can reference it, but not directly do it.
Luckily, Marvel, they should be, just because they can, because they've already established that it's in the same universe.
Yeah. Everything's happening universally. Like, the snap happened. It happened.
Exactly.
Shit's gonna happen.
So I think... Ultimately, though, I think that what they're going to do is they're going to basically say these seasons of the Netflix shows are like, some of them are going to be prior to the snap and some of them will be post-snap.
Which is fucking annoying.
And when I say post-snap, it's going to be post-Avengers 4 when everything is fixed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think is going to happen. We're not going to see in the shows any correlation in
which
what
is
happened to this.
Fucking stupid.
It's annoying.
And a complete waste of...
it's
potential.
Like Jordan, he hates Marvel's movies so much now. He's like, oh, they're so formulaic and everything like that. But doing something like this, like what we're saying, and connecting these two would get away from that formulaic, routine.
Then that broadens your perspectives.
Exactly.
It makes the team up movies potentially greater.
And with the rumor that they're going to have all of these characters on one scene in Avengers 4, supposedly, and you're going to exclude the TV show characters? Like, that's
like the people that still exist. Like, that doesn't make sense.
No.
And we're going to act like it's not going to take place in New York.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's either New York or Wakanda. So
or Titan. Like,
what do you think about the theory that the previews that we were shown for the Battle of Wakanda, where, we actually saw the Hulk fighting, is actually from Avengers 4? And
I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
Because so think about it like this, and I this was a theory that I had, that we were going to see the Wakanda battle happen again. That was going to be reset and done again.
That's a given.
From the other angle, where Thanos is trying to stop them from using the Gauntlet. I think that's kind of what's going to happen. And I think that, I've been saying that for a while, and I think that would be cool if, that footage, when they went and shot that Wakanda scene, they just shot for both movies there. Because,
I mean, that would make sense.
Exactly. Why come back in a couple months? Because they shot them back to back. So why just come back? Why not just do it now? If you knew that's where you're going to go to, just shoot it.
If it's all written and everything, why would you spend the money in production? Just do it.
Just do it right there. Yeah. So I mean, it's a possibility. Who knows?
I hit your bet. I'm sorry.
You bastard. Yeah, I just think.
Who do you think's going to wield the Gauntlet first?
The Gauntlet. If it
happens.
I like the idea of Hulk having it. I just like, I have this weird,
so much power in a crazy man's hand.
Exactly. Well, not just that, but after his beatdown by Thanos in in Infinity War, I would just love to see him have it. Maybe not with all the stones, but with especially the Power Stone, where he could just beat down Thanos at one point.
Thanos just gets the shit kicked out of him.
Exactly. I just love to see that happen. But honestly, I think the snap is going to happen. I don't know. Or there's not. I don't think there's going to be a snap. There can't be a snap. That not Tony, Steve, none of them can do a snap because that negates the whole purpose.
Yeah, that's killing the quarter of half.
Yeah, so
of what's left.
But no, I think what it's going to be is, I think that the power is going to be so strong. I think the only person that's going to be able to handle it is going to be somebody like Thor or Hulk or something like that.
I have a feeling that Thor is going to be the one. If Thanos dies, Thor is going to kill Thanos.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
He aims for the head that
time.
and
he's going to make Thanos a unicorn.
What do you? I also saw a rumor and a theory that Steve actually wields Mjolnir.
That would be cool,
dude. I'm so for it, dude. Imagine.
But how would they get Mjolnir?
Well,
time travel. Never mind. I'm fucking stupid. That would be cool. I could see that.
Imagine Mjolnir coming back and Steve actually wielding Mjolnir because Thor has the gauntlet.
Yeah.
That would be so badass.
Yeah. That would be tits.
Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be cool.
I could get behind it. We might. Oh, my favorite iteration of Groot we could see. King Groot. There's a fucking he's one of the trees from Lord of the Rings. You ever see that? Did you ever watch the Battle of the Galaxies or Battle of the Universe?
No.
Oh my god, Groot is like King Groot. He's like one of the fucking trees from Lord of the Rings fighting against fucking Howard the Duck in a mech suit. It's fucking crazy. It's awesome, but it's fucking crazy.
Oh man.
Oh shit, I had a good question for you. I forget what it was. I was, thinking about this, and while we're talking about Marvel, what I was really disappointed in?
What's that?
In Infinity War, how quickly they killed off the children of Thanos.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be a prevalent thing.
They should have been.
Just kept going and going.
I think they should have been, but again, time travel.
Yeah.
So we may see them come back again. My problem is I think that the CGI was done pretty horribly with them. Especially with Proxima Midnight. I think she was done horribly. That
had the second one that had the most lines.
Yeah.
The second most lines.
And the fact that that one fight that she has against Scarlet Witch and Black Widow and stuff like that, it was just bad looking. Just bad looking, man. It did not look good. So I mean, I'd like to see them come back, but maybe make the CGI better, make the fight scene
they have more time to work on it.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, I'm sure it's probably already done, but in theory, they have more time to work on it. But also, how come Scarlet Witch is so fucking OP? Her power jump was fucking stupid.
Here's the thing: Scarlet Witch in the comics is actually one of the most powerful.
Yeah, exactly, but
beings in the comics and
in the cinematic
she's a mutant
universe
in the comics. Remember that.
Yeah.
So in the cinematic universe, I think
she was like a bitch.
No, you got to remember in Age of Ultron. First off, in Age of Ultron, when she first came into it, she was still relatively new, understanding her powers and understanding what she's doing.
Quicksilver could come back.
And I mean, whatever.
He could.
I can take it or leave it. I know some people are like, "We're gonna say it," and I take it or leave it.
I mean, he could.
But I think Scarlet Witch, so Age of Ultron, she's still learning and really understand. I think she knows what her powers are and how to use them, but I think she hasn't grasped the full abilities. I think it's Vision when she, so Vision comes in. So Civil War, her and Vision, you see the relationship. I think it's Vision who helps her along in understanding and really grasping her powers, and that's a big reason why they're keeping her. She's a big reason for Civil War because she's so powerful and unpredictable because she doesn't know how to control her powers still. Yeah, and again, I think it's Vision who helps her along the way. So come to Infinity War. It's been a while. It's been a while. What, a year since Civil War.
Yeah, we're around there.
So over that year, I'm sure that Vision has helped her along in understanding her powers and stuff like that. And you got to remember also, she loves Vision, and it's that old saying, like a mother, what a mother can do for a child in danger, lifting a car off of a child and stuff like that. This is a similar type of thing. She's going to use all of her abilities to protect the man she loves, and she's pretty overpowered, but it fits her character. Yeah. Look, I'm sitting here defending Marvel to you.
Yeah, I mean, but I understand the whole thing, but you can't just jump right. You got to kind of ease us into it. You can't just be like, oh, she could just fucking destroy an Infinity Stone.
My
problem, that. Well, not like that, but
but my problem with it isn't how OP she was. It was the fact that they wrote her how they wrote her, so she's not in the fight from the beginning.
Yeah, like, if you're that powerful, I get it, you should be defending him kind of closer, but...
Yeah.
Like, when you're seeing your friends get their ass kicked,
and
they're just simply outnumbered...
And also remember, like, Proxima Midnight and the children of Thanos, you know, they knew how powerful she was because they waited until she was on the field to go after Vision.
Exactly.
Like, they knew that they didn't stand a chance against her. So the fact, like, okay, yeah, you can say we're going to leave her as our last line of defense, but when you see the army that you're going up against, wouldn't you be like, okay, how about this? War Machine, go over there. You come here. You know,
Vision, you're getting worked on in the field. Everybody circle.
Yeah.
Fucking Spartan turtle shell.
But again, like that, to me, that would make sense. But I think they've handled her character well. I'm not going to say it's been done perfectly, but I think they've done a good enough job because, again, I think so much of what has happened in this universe is because of her, because of her power and abilities, you know? So.
Also, I want to shout out to Vic, even though I know he doesn't listen. How about him throwing Adam Warlock as the cause for Thanos' death?
I mean, that would have been cool if we would have seen Adam Warlock prior.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of.
We see
kind of a casket, a tomb
or whatever it's
a sarcophagus, I guess technically.
But yeah, I mean that would have been a cool idea because he is. I mean,
he is
comics.
He is a big part of it.
But yeah, I don't think that he's gonna be the reason that it happens. I don't think we're gonna see him until as soon as Guardians 3 if it happens, because as of right now Guardians 3 is put on hold.
That's what
director.
That's why I was like, only if Guardians 3 came out before Avengers 4.
Yeah, because
it's a shame that we're getting Captain Marvel so late. Like, well, not late. Like, we should have got her in the fall.
Yeah,
and then not like and then you get a month. You have a month until Avengers 4.
Yeah, you know, an interesting thing I was reading today. The post credit scene we do get in Infinity War, which is them calling for Captain America or Captain Marvel.
They're calling for Captain America.
Captain Marvel. What's his name? Nick Fury. There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Stuff starts happening, and he pulls out this old pager, and he messages. It's interesting to think, like, why does he go for why does he call for Captain Marvel right away? Why wouldn't he call for one of the Avengers who he's in contact with all the time? And there's an interesting theory that it's because of the Skrulls. He believes what is happening is a direct correlation to the Skrulls attacking, and he's calling for Captain Marvel.
It's interesting.
So it's interesting thought because we're going to have to see what happens in Captain Marvel.
What did he see there?
Exactly, because something has to have happened in Captain Marvel that would correlate to that theory being right, because there's really no reason. Like, how he would have no freaking idea about the Infinity Gauntlet, the stones, the snap. He wouldn't know about that. Yeah,
like all he knows is chaos is happening.
Exactly. So it's an interesting theory. I like it. I like this. I hope it plays out like that, because if it's the fact that he thinks it's the Skrulls that are causing it, that's cool. I can't wait for Captain Marvel. I keep getting myself amped up more and more, and they had the promotional.
But what's sad is we're all getting amped up, and we're gonna have impossible expectations for it, and it's not gonna live up to them.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna get.
Infinity War was good.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up more than I did for Infinity War, and my hopes for Infinity War were kind of low. But that's because of the way that Marvel films have been going for so long, in my opinion. Yeah. They just haven't been great. They've been good, but they haven't been great.
They haven't made the leap.
Like, Ragnarok was a good movie. I enjoyed it. But it wasn't as great as people made it out to be. I didn't like Doctor Strange. I was not a fan of Doctor Strange at all. But I mean, it's a copy of Iron Man and Ant-Man.
Whoa. Don't put Doctor Strange in the same category as Ant-Man, okay? You can put him in the same category as Iron Man. Iron Man 2 and 3, I don't even care. I'll take that, but not Ant-Man.
Okay, honestly, my expectations are high for Captain Marvel. I'm looking forward to it. But
I mean, it can't be any worse than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
True.
I mean, granted, the post-credit scenes are what killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, it was an Ant-Man movie.
I mean, when all is said and done, you got an Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
If you liked the first Ant-Man, you're gonna like the second Ant-Man.
Yeah. You got what you paid for. Yeah. Post-credit scene was just the nail in the coffin. I was like, fuck this. Okay. Last question, because we're over an hour. So, the Disney Fox deal. They have a majority of the characters, So, saying that they can't write it in time, not saying that they won't, who do you think will be the next baddie if they can't pick, like, Galactus or something like that they got from Fox?
So, somebody they can't get from Fox?
Yeah, like, not saying, okay, I not Fox, and then if they get Fox.
Okay, so if there's no Fox,
yes,
I think that they're going to go with someone like the Skrulls or the Kree or something like that. I know that we had Kree in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 with Ronan.
Ronan the Destroyer or Ravager or some shit like that.
Yeah, Ronan the Destroyer. So we could get him, or not him, but the Kree. Or we can get the Skrulls, and I would like to see the Skrulls more so. I think that they're going to be introduced in Captain Marvel, and then they're going to be in Avengers 4, I believe, in some form or fashion. And I think that that's going to be their introduction to being the next big bad. But how big of a bad, how long are they going to stay there, I think depends on how quickly they can get the Fox deal finished and bring those people in. And like I said, I think I was talking to you about it the one day. I think it would be a badass idea. I think it would be awesome to have a team up now. Don't have it just one baddie. Don't have it just Thanos. Don't have it just be a Loki.
Like you can do that now.
Yeah, like I think it would be pretty cool to have Victor Von Doom be introduced.
Yeah.
And have him and maybe team up with Loki or something like that. I'm not saying Loki necessarily, but like teaming up with other villains, other characters' villains, to make almost like a team up movie.
Like a Legion of Doom, a Marvel Legion of Doom.
Something like that, yeah, like the Sinister Six, like something like the Sinister Six. Obviously, they can't do Sinister Six, but that's Sony now, so. Which
would be kind of cool to see in the Spider-Man film.
What, Sinister Six? Yeah, if
it would be more than a one movie thing, but
yeah, I would love to see it also, but with
Sony just doing what the fuck Sony's doing.
Yeah, that's annoying to me, and honestly, I wish that Sony would just say, look, you are making a shit ton of money over there, Marvel. Like, you are. You're making billions of dollars for each movie. Our movies are not making $1 billion.
We are making barely even.
So how about this? How about we will... Look, the deal states at this. So let us sign on our own writers and blah, 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 and this kind of stuff. It will be the same universe, okay? We will make money for it. But you can use the characters, we can use your characters. And then they can share characters back and forth. That way they can make this universe even bigger. That's what they should be doing.
And everything
Instead
would
of
make
having
sense.
this whole thing where it's, okay, you get Spider-Man, you get these three characters over here. Okay, that's what you get, Marvel. We're going to play with Venom over here and try and make him relevant by himself.
You can't have Venom.
Yeah, like...
You can't have Doc Ock.
But you think about it, like, people love Spider-Man so much.
I like Spider-Man. He's probably my favorite Marvel hero.
And you don't have one of his coolest enemies, in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, just because you can't.
Because Sony wants to do their own damn thing, and it's just annoying.
Yeah, just give it time. Disney will try to buy him. I'm not wrong. No, it's probably just a matter of time at this point.
You're probably right.
Okay, so after Fox.
After Fox, like I said, I think it's about bringing, making a team up. Galactus would be nice to see at some point. I think done right, not how they did him in Fantastic Four 2, Silver Surfer, Rise of the Silver Surfer, whatever the hell that movie was called. Not like that. I would love to see Silver Surfer. Dude, imagine a Silver Surfer in the MCU. Oh, God.
That would be tits.
How badass would the Silver Surfer be?
That would be tits.
MCU. Come on, man.
That would be super tits.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. So, I think Galactus is really the next...
Big.
Like, that makes sense. When you go from Thanos to Galactus. Like, it makes sense, but I want to see more Like, I want to get away from the galaxy for a while. Like, away from the space aspect of it. Let's bring us down. Is there going to be a Thor 4? We don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. Honestly, I would be okay if they left Thor alone for a while.
Yeah.
After Avengers 4, let him go do his own thing. Let him start up a new Asgard and, that kind of stuff.
You can always revisit him.
Exactly. You can always have him come back at some point. But, let's get some more grounded villains. Bring in Victor Von Doom. Bring in... I can't think of people right now. But, bringing in... And that's the problem. That's another problem that we have is because... A lot of these characters, Red Skull would be cool to have back, but if Captain America dies, Red Skull isn't going to be as meaningful if Captain America's dead.
Yeah.
To Bucky, it's not as big of
Have a rivalry type thing.
Exactly. You take a look at Iron Man. He's already faced some of his biggest ones. The Mandarin, which was ass, so they could redo that and fix that. Whiplash and Ironmonger. Like, those were some of his bigger villains in the comics, and you've already done that. Plus, if Tony Stark walks away, what's the point for him?
Yeah, like it does.
So
that
really,
doesn't make sense.
at this point, you have to introduce the X-Men.
Yeah.
Magneto. Bring him in. But again, Magneto's been done to death. with Fox. So
Yeah.
do we want to see another film where Magneto's? You could do crap. I can't think. The Sentinel program. I can't remember what the name of the Sentinel program is in X-Men. It's losing. But anyways, you could bring them in and have this. But again, that's mutants. So what does it matter to the Avengers?
Yeah.
Because the Sentinel program is against mutants. So.
And then you could even do the mutants versus the Avengers. Wasn't that a storyline?
X-Men versus the Avengers versus X-Men. Yeah, they could do that story, and I think that would be great. I think that would be a cool setup. Essentially do, like, if they did, so these first 10 years, you had Civil War. Then these next 10 years, you have Avengers versus X-Men. Something like that would be kind of cool to do. Kind of parallel with each other a little bit.
Retconning the whole snap and time traveling and everything, you could easily throw the mutant gene in there.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Absolutely.
You were fucking with an Infinity Stone and boom, there it is.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree. No, I agree with you 100%. I think that they can easly retcon having mutants in the universe. And I've even gone as far as saying you don't have to start the mutant gene being back in, World War II and stuff like that, like they show in the comics or as they've shown in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Or it actually goes further back than that. Like, you can have it where it starts immediately after the snap or immediately after Avengers 4, where something happens because of all of these events that occurred.
Yeah.
It caused the mutant gene inside of people to activate. And now, and not only that, but you can bring your characters that you love, your Wolverines, your Cyclopses, your Phoenixes and Jean Greys, and you can bring those characters into it, but it's going to be cool and it's going to be fun because you get to tell a brand new story with these characters, not like they've ever had, because you won't be hampered, and there won't be the expectation of, okay, well, this is how Magneto was created, because his parents were taken from him in a World War II camp, and that's how he became Magneto. No, people aren't going to look at it that way. They're going to look at, okay, how's Magneto going to start now?
Yeah, this is not done yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's not been done yet. So I think that would be a cool thing to do. Kind of flip it on its head and say, you know what? We've been doing a lot of stuff, taken from the comics, and we're going to still take from the comics, but let's do something new. Let's reinvent the X-Men. And I think that would be a cool thing to do.
Modernize and adapt their stories.
And I'm not sitting here saying that the X-Men need reinvented. I'm not saying that what we've had has been terrible, but what I'm saying is we've seen 10 movies, 11 total X-Men movies between Deadpool, Wolverines and stuff like that, and maybe not 10, but we've seen a whole bunch. The fact that, okay, we've seen all that, why don't we just say, okay, look, some of them were good, some of them were bad. Let's put it aside. Let's reinvent. Let's do our own thing. Let's see what we can do differently now.
I mean, it's already established they're not MCU, so
let's get rid of those. Yeah.
Yeah, you can wreck on them. They are what they are.
The only thing I said, just keep Deadpool.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see Deadpool in MCU?
I think we will. I do.
Eventually.
I do.
You think we'll see a Ryan Reynolds Deadpool?
Maybe not.
You think we'll see Reynold Ryans as Deadpool?
Possibly.
Yes. I had another one for you. I fucking forget what it was. Well, with all the time travel and stuff, Ultron could come back.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's technically not dead.
Yeah, but he could become, there's his reason to be back. Something happened when they retconned Ultron. If they retcon Ultron, Age of Ultron.
We can see. I'm interested. I think it's a shame. I think we should at least have a title by now. I want something and for the next Avengers, and that's why I want to talk about it because we have nothing, and I want something. I need something. I just need a little bit, a little something, a little more something, just a little bit, just a little bit, buddy.
Just the tip.
Just a little bit.
So this was a fun episode. I talked a bit. You talked a bit. We talked about fisting at one point in time. Not really, but we just did, so I can count it.
Talked about,
fucking fat dudes in their mom's basement. Fucking fingering raw chicken as if it's a vagina.
It was pineapple or something.
It was cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe, that's
But then I was like, wait, no, because they're fat and they don't eat healthy. So it has to be raw chicken.
Makes more sense.
Yeah. So Don't forget, buy some t-shirts at teespring.com/Nerdtalkalypse Podcast Network. Get yourself some fucking hip-ass swag, yo. Facebook.com/groups/Bridging the Geekdoms is our group. We got bridgingthegeekdoms.facebook.com, which is the page. And we also got some other shit. Oh, bye!
All right, see you, everybody. Take it easy. Talk to you next week.